Kabore. You can hear him? Okay. She can hear you. She can hear you now. Kabore. Try and listen.
Hello, can you hear me?
Well, we are still at the NAS Park here in Nkroful, the hometown of the Osagifo Dr. Nkrumah, where we are celebrating the Osagifo, the first president of the Republic, the founder of our Republic. A lot of stories are told about how the Osagifo had to put this country together, one piece at a time. Negotiations. He had to concede on many things in order to put this country that is Ghana together. What was handed over to him by the British is not what you see today. But what they consider their territories and colonies are different. They call some places the Northern Protectorates, which means they did not have so much responsibility for the North. And there was, of course, it's Transvolta, Togoland, among others. So when we talk about Osagifo Dr. Nkrumah, we are talking about Ghana and his dream for Ghana. And that is what the Member of Parliament for Illlegal is doing, because he is a son of the land and wants to celebrate the most prominent son of this particular land, and has been doing that for some years now. It is called Nkrumah'S, and that's why we are here today. Well, this morning I'm joined by two people. One is a voice you will know if you are listening to us on Radio Go. His name is Mahmoud Kabore. Mahmoud Kabore speaks for the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, who is a Member of Parliament for this area. The other one is Asare. He has the job of coordinating what is known as responsible cooperative mining. That is his job. Now, that's an alternative. It's something that has been, there are those who have said it's been tried in the community mining scheme. Is it the same? Is it different? We'll be finding out from him. But I'll start with Kabore, because it's his boss who's organizing this event today. When your boss goes, you follow. Kabore, good morning.
Good morning, Sena.
Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Great.
It's not been easy.
Yeah.
Ashanti to the western of. Finally, we are here. Okay. In Somaliland, specifically. I've been speaking Millennium Man of Africa. Despite the November, principles he held, some of the visions he held, and all. How we can actually ride on that to achieve the current motive of our land. How we can ride on that for the reset agenda. Specifically, the sector, his birthplace MP is found himself, the Bishop Sena. How we are able to ride on his mission and then his principles to achieve the good of organizing. So, it's been an interesting program. I'm told it didn't start this year, but this year's promises to be bigger because this is the first time the president has allowed or has directed it to be added to the national tourism calendar.
Okay. So this is now the national tourism calendar.
Yes. Okay. So it means every year there will be a road to Nkroful, a journey to Nkroful, where we will all come, not just remembering and but actually working on the vision to meet our current needs. So,
and for a young person like you, I wonder what Nkrumah means. And I'll come to the journey we were just talking about, because it looks like the person who is supposed to be our host, even he has been very busy at work in his capacity as minister this week. But first let me start from Nkrumah. For a young person like you, what does the name Nkrumah mean to you? And What value does it hold for you?
At the mention of take pride in our cultural reasons and all of that. It denied that sense of nationalism and patriotism when you hear the name of Nkrumah. It's a name when mentioned. You are reminded that, look, the African child can do it and do it better. That Africa as a continent can achieve a lot through unity and through working together. And Nkrumah means a lot to me as a young man. It's a lot of inspiration and motivation just at the mention of that name. But it should go beyond just drawing inspiration. You must be able to meet the current needs of our country and to solve the current challenges as a country and as a continent. Some of the things we hear in books from other people, I believe making a journey to Nkroful give us a better perspective of how Nkrumah began and where destiny took him. Especially the motivating aspect as a young man. Going to see Nkrumah's family house, going to actually see his mom's kitchen. Things that it really has nothing to do with where you come from. What matters most is the determination to where you want to get to. And this should be a motivation to all young people in Ghana and across Africa. That your dream has no end. Your dream, the sky is the start point of every young African. And that when we are determined, when we persevere, and when we put in the hard work, we can get to wherever we want to get to. Just like Nkrumah did.
Oh, that's great. So for you as a young person, his own story from Nkroful all the way to ending up in the West, going through education, coming back to head this country, is a motivating factor for you.
It's very strong motivation. And because people are oftentimes make the justification, oh, we come from a very rural area, we didn't have the things that other people have in Illlegal and all the developed communities in the country. And so it's enough for us to sit alone with Hans Akimbo and continue to complain. When you come to Nkroful, you visit the traditional and original home of Nkrumah, then you will not have that. You don't have to read those justifications again. And it will tell you that it's really not about where you come from. It's more importantly about where you want to go through hard work, determination, and the perseverance. And I am inspired.
That's great. Frank,
Sena.
now, yes, your responsibility is not only for cooperative mining, but you're looking at skills development in general. And I'm guessing your focus will be in these mining areas. But first, let's start with your own view of Nkrumah. Do you agree with him that a story alone should be a story of inspiration for every young man, young woman seeking to make it, no matter what your background is?
Sena, to start with, I would like to greet you and our cherished viewers. Nkrumah's story is one that motivates, that inspires, and that actually tells the story of the African child. This is Nkroful in 2025. So you must cast your mind back to Nkroful of 1909. So Nkrumah was born to Nkroful's, and at the time, there were no social amenities like electricity, there is no community center, in fact, there will be very few schools, yet that did not deter him. Yesterday at the museum, and we had Durbar had some discussions, then I looked at the people there and said, look, Nkrumah is a great man. Nkrumah was born here, but he did not look just at where he was born, but he looked beyond. And he took his destiny into his own hands. When you were coming from Accra, I'm sure you came through Takoradi, from Takoradi to this area. Then Nkrumah, who was born in Nkroful, did not decide to stay only here, moved on from here all the way to the United States to study, then went to the United Kingdom. That did not end there. When he came back to Ghana, he decided to lead the fight for independence. Even though there were other people who were also taking part, his contribution is different. And he, after getting independent for us, he started the pace so that every African country will believe in themselves that, look, the African is capable of building its own country. So for me, the Nkrumah's story is one that must be studied, that every young child must be taught, that every young person must endure that, look, irrespective of where you are coming from, Sena, you can become a great person depending on how you pursue your own dreams. Nkrumah took his destiny into his hands, and at the end of the day, he conquered Africa, he conquered the world. The things he was able to do, I've always said that Nkrumah was over a century ahead of his peers, so they could not understand that a man from Nkroful becomes the head of state of the republic, he becomes the prime minister before becoming the president. Then he says that, look, we need to build Akosombo. Where did this young man even get that idea from? But he did it. He said we need to build a modern Tema, so the Tema township. This also tells me that leaders who are always self-centered, thinking about themselves, Nkrumah never even decided to build a house for himself. In fact, when people decided to come together to build the Pediase Lodge for him, he decided to give it to the country. So selflessness, he was incorruptible, yet people were able to create stories about him. And you see, when we say Nkrumah never dies, irrespective of things that were said about him, today, everybody can attest to the fact that those who said those things were lying. And Nkrumah's testimony is everywhere. That is why he's the African of the millennium. Because, Sena, for someone who has traversed from this small village of Nkroful, as at the time, and it was in 1935 that he traveled to the United Kingdom. So look at that time. Nkrumah decided that whatever he has seen in the foreign country, he will replicate same here so that Ghana would develop. What do we see today? African leaders, including Ghana, travel to the Western world, yet what they see there does not transpire here. But Nkrumah decided to build factories because he knew that at the time we had 5 million population. By a time will come, the population will grow. So we need to build the industries. As an engineer, I am always particular about industry. So I remember when I was the engineering students president, my big celebration, I picked the team industrialization of the Ghanaian economy, the role of an engineer. But at the time, in the 1950s, in the 1960s, Nkrumah knew that the country will grow, so we need to build industries. Then another important thing he did was the building of schools. Education is a leveler. So now we are here to discuss issues of national importance because of the knowledge we have gained. Nkrumah saw that the colonial masters did not take deliberate steps, deliberate attempts to develop the educational infrastructure of the Gold Coast. So when he became the prime minister and then president, his idea was that we should build more schools. That we had Ghana National, we had a lot of schools in Fansemine Senior High School, a host of others through Nkrumah's vision. The Gold Coast University College then, which is the University of Ghana now, I think it is Nkrumah who built University of Ghana because at the time where the Gold Coast College of University College was, it's not the same as where the University of Ghana is now. It is Nkrumah who did that. And look at the buildings, the days of Nkrumah, the halls that were built as compared to the ones that were built recently. Sena, you think that the people who came after Nkrumah actually did not have the country at heart. So for Nkrumah's vision, the things that Nkrumah has done for the Ghanaian people, even the self-confidence, the time in the League of Nations when you appear as a Ghanaian, people respect you. And you know why? It is because of that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, what Dr. Kwame Nkrumah has done at the international stage. He was the person who led for the formation of the African Union. And the African Union was also his Achilles knee, where people decided to lie about him that, hey, Nkrumah wants to be the president of the African unity. So that is why he is spending money in Guinea, he is spending money in other African countries. But to him, it will be meaningless for Ghana to get independence when your neighbors are not independent. Then what becomes of you? The colonial masters will in no time still have an influence in your country. So he was doing so to help all of us, African unity. And to me, in 2025, if there is anything that is of importance that we need to go back to, it's African unity. So, Sena, if we are to talk about Nkrumah, I think we can take the whole day and we will not finish.
Well, it's difficult to impress an engineer when it comes to built-up environment. So, I'm surprised. When you talk about Nkrumah with a lot of admiration for the kind of vision he had at that time. Build Tema, build the motorway, and also go to places like, and the bridges he built. Also, you are talking about the Akosombo Dam, which was like the combination of all those factories that were built up. Why do you think that vision is lacking nowadays?
I personally think that the leaders we have had after Nkrumah were short-sighted. Even the reasons they cited to overthrow Nkrumah were just preconceived to just lie to the Ghanaian people then, just for them to support the overthrow of Nkrumah. But when Kutu Acheampong overthrew Busia, he said the hypocrisy of Busia has now come to bear. You know why? Because the very things Busia and Co said about Nkrumah that led to the General Kutu Acheampong, led to Ankara, Kotoka and Afrifa and Co overthrowing Nkrumah. They came and they could not even fulfill half of the things that Nkrumah was doing. So we do same here in Ghana. So what it means is that if we have the expertise, we have the technical know-how, we just need to create the environment where these guys can also use their knowledge, their expertise to help in building the nation.
Well, those are very interesting thoughts from Engineer Asare. And I'll come back to you on the matter of cooperative mining, what your task is. But Kabore, for you, what does the vision of Nkrumah mean for you? The things he did. How do you think that can be a guide in this day that we are in?
Today's celebration day, otherwise Kabore wearing a black tie. No matter actually reflects my youth. All the injustices that was done to so like the talk of the burning of externals, physical and function of his life. Long even after his death, the relentless weight of his vision. To the extent that in the modern democracy, people still do not want to accept that Nkrumah stood for such a person. People do not want to accept that Nkrumah played a certain role in our country. I have a mixed feeling that today, that play, no matter how hard or heavy it is to do, we are seeing something. Thanks goes to Senator Dr. for bringing back the Founders Day and recognize that aside from Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, of our and also to thank the Member of Parliament for the area. My good boss, the Honorable Emmanuel for holding the fort, body and soul the believers, the humanists, even when a certain government didn't want to recognize, he as a Member of Parliament single-handedly held the fort to me. The time when the government have seen at the celebration our tourism and cultural calendar. That for me is a milestone and it's a journey that I'm going to travel. But to align his vision, how can we drive on a side of vision to achieve the kind of objectives that we have today? For instance, unity. Ghana cannot, Africa cannot get to any point we have to achieve without imagine over the years when we say communities so fast with mining company B or C, today through unity, today through working together, today through coming together, those mining companies have begun to see the sense leasing portions of their lease lands to Mr. Pedro and his team to repackage as cooperative for the Ghanaian youth. We are able to help them mine responsibly, legally and sustainably to achieve the economic independence Nkrumah preached about. Our political independence will be meaningless if it doesn't couple with economic independence. How free are you if you cannot afford the 3 meal scale of living? So, I see the vision of Asare reflecting and manifesting in the posture, in the direction, and in the policy of His Excellency Dr. Mahama and the Honorable Emmanuel. For once, we say let's amend our Minerals and Mining Act, let's amend our Minerals and Mining Policy, so that the benefits that come from our minerals benefit not just one person, benefit not just one family, but benefit the entire Ghanaian. So, no more leasing of lands to mining company for 30 years. We're talking about reducing that particular number. We're talking about local content. When we say look, it has gotten to a time where what the white man can do, the black man is doing it, even doing it better. In those days, most of our mining companies were headed by white people. Today, black men, sons of our soil, are able to do that and do it better. Why can't we own our mining industry? Why can't we let our local people play a critical role in our minerals governance? And so, we are saying that there are certain businesses, as far as our mineral governance is concerned, that should be ceded to locals, so that there will be that rippling effect. Imagine Sena is a major distributor of mining equipment, and all mining companies give their contracts to you to supply, and you get the money. You won't take the money to Azerbaijan, you won't take the money to the UK, you reinvest, you plow back. And without rippling effect, definitely either you're going to expand your scope or you're going to build new businesses. It's a way of creating jobs for our people. It's a way of having the money stay in the system. So that was the vision of Asare Dr. that we can do it and do it better. Contrary reasons. Why do we take pride in what happens in the foreign man's land? To the extent that the African man, the Ghanaian man has developed a lustful taste for foreign goods, as against what we make here and do here. President Mahama, through his vision, said feed Ghana. We should eat what we grow and grow what we eat. We are not able to eat all of them. Let's take advantage of the African continental free trade area. Let's export it to our partners in Africa, the African continent, so that together we will all achieve the success we want to achieve together. In the area of our mineral companies, the problem has nothing to do with mining. The problem is the method being used to mine, which is leaving almost a huge environmental impact on our life. Sena, putting you and I in danger. How can we do, what can we do to achieve success in that sector? Look, you chase the people from the forest, they become a burden on society, either on the street as robbers or in your homes as stealers. So let's not just be interested in the punitive measures. We should also be interested in the alternative measures. And that is where responsible cooperative mining skills development comes in. Because you go to Aberewan Incline, and one operation, you are chasing about over 10,000 people from the forest reserves. You go to the Cobra banks, and one operation, you are making about 3,000 people flee. And you say the solution is just punitive. The solution is just declaring state of emergency. When all these young guys come to the house without job, without any source of income, what becomes our social status? There will be high social vices. And that is what President Mahama and Honorable Nkroful are trying to avert by working with all this multi-pronged approach. We are doing a bit of engagement, we are doing a bit of education, we are introducing novelties, blue for water initiative, where it's a twin project. The first aspect has to be the blue water gas. The other aspect has to do with the decarbonization of the water. Because the turbidity can come to zero, but the chemical pollution will still be there. So you need that twin project to be able to make the water actually cleaner for consumption and for domestic use. So Nkrumah's vision is empowering all of us. Nkrumah's vision is guiding all of us. Nkrumah's vision is inspiring change, especially through the reset agenda for Ghana to realize its dream, its potential, and claim our place, our past glory as truly the Black Stars of Africa, where we motivate, where we encourage other African countries to emulate for us to grow together as an African continent. So, like I said, it's been a mixed feeling, a grief coupled or garnished with a certain relief that no one, never again should we all attempt or sit aloof and watch a few attempt to bury the good works of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Never again should we sit aloof with Hans Akimbo and watch other people destroy the legacies of Osajifo Dr. Kwame. Indeed, he was not saint. He had his own shortcomings. But indeed, his hard work, his legacies, and his goodwill stands taller than his shortfalls. All of us are no saints. Even the people who caused his overthrow, even the people who fought him, even after his death, what has been their legacy? So, Osajifo never dies, not because he's alive with us, but because his legacy still lives with us. Today we are enjoying electricity because of this man. Today we are enjoying certain social amenities because of this man. If we cannot at least remember him for the good reasons, let's not bury his legacies.
Great. Thank you very much. And of course, he was talking about the journey to Nkroful, his own journey, that is where he's gone through to come here, and where we have come through to come to Nkroful ourselves from Accra. Of course, we are all celebrating Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. What I would do is try to see a way through which we can get these two gentlemen in the proper forum where we discuss the matter, because as you can see, we are also here to bring live coverage of this program to our viewers and listeners, so that they will also be part of the NkrumahFest. That's why the two of you are also here. Engineer, to conclude with you on this, a brief introduction to your mandate. What are you supposed to do?
So, Sena, like you said, we will get time, come to your studios, discuss what the responsible cooperative mining is about, so that the Ghanaian people will embrace it. So, we took power on 7th January 2009, and the visionary John Dramani Mahama, in appointing his ministers, appointed Honorable Emmanuel Amakufibua as the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. So the ministry, there are agencies. So one of them was the National Alternative Employment and Livelihood Program.
Okay.
Now, so when we came, we decided to study what the NAP program is about, what it has achieved, and what it can achieve. Then there was a community program, community mining program that had been started by the erstwhile Akufo-Addo government. So we also studied it, then we realized that no, there are a lot of shortfalls, so we cannot allow it to continue. So we placed a ban on it. Then the government decided to also have community engagement and sensitization about the way forward. And the products, the results of the community engagement and sensitization and the stakeholder consultation bear the Responsible Cooperative Mining and Skills Development Program. Responsible Cooperative Mining and Skills Development Program. It was approved by the Cabinet of H.E. Mahama on 10th July 2025, and it was launched at Obuasi on 6th August 2025. Basically, what we seek to achieve with this program is that this illegal mining menace that has become a canker on us, as we put out the punitive measures, we should have an alternative measure so that we can also rope them in to do responsible and sustainable mining. So it is supposed to help us eradicate and curb the illegal mining menace by creating an alternative employment where the people within the mining communities can be brought under a cooperative umbrella. We give out a block that area or even a place where they will apply. Then through the Minerals Commission, the Environmental Protection Agency and the Water Resources Commission, they are giving license and permits respectively so that they can go and mine. Then we clear the problem that has always been deviling us with regard to illegal mining. Documentation. Mining is by law. So if you don't have documentation, anything that you do, either you are doing it properly, is illegal. So with the responsible cooperative mining, we are able to solve the leg when it comes to documentation. The second is about how we can get a place which is mineralized and we take the geological investigation seriously. Then afterwards we can get it for the people to mine. Because the difficulty we have had has always been with lottery mining, where people go into mining and have no idea where they are mining. They have been told through conversations that this area is mineralized. So they just go in, they take excavator, they dig, they get nothing. But they are unable to stop because they have invested in it and they destroy a lot of areas before they can even get something small. Some are lucky. They just go in, and where they go to start from is the ore body or the vein or the shell, and they are able to make money. What we are saying is that with the responsible cooperative mining, we want to get the mineralized area, we want to invest in geological investigation so that at the end of the day, where we give to the people are mineralized and they can go directly to mine, then they don't destroy a vast land of our environment. Then the third aspect is the processing. How do we process the ore? We have been able to get the license, we have been able to do proper geological investigation, then we have the ore. We should process it such that the waste is deposited or is channeled through a tailings dam which does not seep into our water bodies. What we see now is that they get the ore, but through the processing, then they just dump it into the river bodies and it pollutes our water bodies. We are saying that under the responsible cooperative mining scheme, this must stop, because when you get the ore, we should have a process unit which will ensure that we do it without using mercury, and we ensure that the tailings does not end up in our water body. So, Sena, it is a process that needs to be explained. So I have traveled across the country. Last 2 weeks I was at Savannah region, Upper West and Upper East. I've been to Bole, been to Waka Waka, been to Malue, Bakupe, to have community engagement and sensitization. This particular area, been Akropon, Eziama, I've been to Takwa, Ristia, Bondi, all these areas I am free, all to, because Sena, one of the key challenges we have is ignorance. The people who are mining, some are ignorant of even the activities they are embarking on. And on the other side, the flip side is skills training.
Okay.
Sena, it's not everyone that will get the opportunity to be in the cooperative mining. So as part of our mandate, we intend to create entrepreneurship, create apprenticeship programs, create skill development programs, so that those who are not able to go into the cooperative mining are also rolled up into the program of skill training, entrepreneurship and apprenticeship, so that they get something for themselves and they are able to fend for themselves and their family. So it is a big program that we are working on.
So, like I said, we'll find time, because everything you have said needs to be broken down one after the other. We need to go and pick the program. Like I've seen the minister come in, I've seen Nkrumah here, and I think the paramount chief for the area walking to the days. So all the dignitaries are arriving one after the other. The program will start very shortly. You can see that I was looking away, trying to see what is happening on the grounds. Now, it's an experience. What Kabore said about Honorable Emmanuel Amakufibua is no joke. He's done a fantastic job putting this together, holding it together in a very, very difficult time. A time when people were not, when there was a government that really was not interested in celebrating Nkrumah. He managed to do that with little backing. Now, luckily for him, his administration is in power, so maybe it's be easier from now on. But he calls it the journey to Nkroful. So before I let these two gentlemen go, I asked them, what was your own journey like from where you came from to Nkroful? Where did you come?
So that you wouldn't want to know. I came through Accra, I went to Kumasi, went to Bibiani, went to Pristia, then came through the Nkobla River. I took about 3-hour journey from on the Nkobla River with the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources and my brother Kabore. So we took off from so I had to Kango on the river. Here we wanted to assess the current state of the Nkobla River. So from there, then we came through to have a program at Anya Teluku Bokazo to launch the cooperative mining there. Then before we came to Nkroful, so you can see.
What's the journey?
Yes.
Kabore, the same journey?
The same route? Yes.
Oh, I cannot.
He's my right hand man.
I cannot understand. Well, nice to have the two of you here. And I hope to have the opportunity of speaking to the two of you in a bit more extensively.
Yeah, we will
what you're doing.
Your producers have been pulling me every day. But the problem is that I'm mostly on the field.
Yes.
So before I come to Accra, there's a pile up of activities that I need to do. So I'm unable to attend to this program. But it is very key to the fight against illegal mining, where we are able to sit on radio and explain things. So I will come. So I will be in the studio for us to have an extensive discussion on the cooperative mining.
Well, we'll do what we can to support, because it's a difficult terrain for anybody trying to fight illegal mining now. People are suggesting their ideas, suggesting it strongly, and they will not listen to anything you're doing. Right now, the discussions over the declaration of a state of emergency, even the alternatives that are being proposed are not being listened to. So I know it will not be easy. We'll do our best to support and ensure you will succeed. Thank you, Kabore. Kabore speaks for the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. His name is Mahmoud Kabore, and of course, it's wonderful to always to speak to No, to engineer for the first time. I've known him, I've been seeing him for many years, but we've never had a conversation on any issue.
I'm being called to the bar also in October.
So you'll be
Engineer lawyer.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So Engineer Frank Asare is National Coordinator for the Responsible Cooperative Mining and Skills Development Program. So two things he's supposed to do. Because people keep telling us that there are people who, if they had their way, do not be engaged in mining and doing what they are doing. So he has to find a way of getting those people engaged, as well as those who want to stay in mining. How do we ensure they do it responsibly? I realized the name was carefully couched, Responsible Cooperative Mining. Well, I am Sena, Nombo. We are still here at the Nkrumah'S Park where we are bringing live coverage of NkrumahFest, the journey to Nkroful. We'll take you to the days.